I ain't got much to show. Baby, I'm slow. I'm gonna creep into my snail show until the spring liberates me from my winter hell.
Because there's so many problems in the gym right now.
If you only let me creep into your prison cell. Hey baby, can you tell I'm not a criminal?
So I'm doing it again. I'm gonna try to do all the boulders in the gym. I think it's gonna be a lot harder this time because there are a lot of hard boulders. I just went around and I counted all the boulders on the different grades. So there's 1 3 minus, there's 1 3 plus, there's 2 4 minuses, there's 1 4 plus, 6 5 minuses, 9 5s, 4 5 pluses, 8 6 A's, 10 6 A pluses, 15 6 B's, 14 6 B pluses, 13 6 C's, 11 6 C pluses, 11 7 A's, 6 7 A pluses, 3 7 B's, 1 7 B plus, 2 7 C's, 2 7 C pluses, and 1 8 A. So that's what I'm gonna do tonight. I'm gonna try to complete all of them in one session. I'm not cheating or anything. I'm not gonna like split this up and do it in different sessions. Try to remember my face, try to remember all the scars so you can see that it's actually done in one session. And I'm probably gonna do like a voiceover because this is gonna take a long time. It's gonna be a long video, but the last video I made was pretty popular when I did like 100 boulders for 100K. So I think it's gonna be cool just to do like a voiceover, do a lot of climbing. I'm gonna start on the easy grades and then move up. So if you fast forward in this video, you can skip to the harder grades. And I remember last time I did this, I said that no one is gonna watch this to the end, but a lot of you did, and I got so many like positive comments that I figured that I want to do it again. This is not like for 1 million subscribers or anything. This is just because I wanted to do another one of these boulders, the 100 boulders videos. So I'm starting with a 3 minus. This is the easiest problem that I did. It's a VB in American grading. I had to Google this actually because I'd never heard of VB before. So I'm gonna start with the easiest problems and then end with the hardest ones. I don't blame you guys if you want to skip to the end, but I'm gonna be talking through most of this beginning, and I don't really have a plan for what I'm gonna talk about, but I think it's a good opportunity to talk to you guys. So on these easier problems, I definitely don't do it the best way, the correct way, the easiest way. I kind of just have fun with it. So even though this is one of the first problems that I show you guys, it doesn't mean that it's the first problem that I try. This might be at the very end of the session. I'm probably gonna reveal at the end what orders I did things, but it's not the order that you see it. When you see me try some of these easier problems, I have already done a lot of problems, so I'm gonna look pretty tired and not climb them really well. But I'm kind of wasting a little bit of energy too on the easier ones, but I guess I shouldn't do that because in total there were 119 boulders, and that's a lot more than last time I did this. So it's like 20% more than last time, and you definitely feel those extra 20%. And I feel like this time around the boulders were a lot harder. So while we're still on the easy problems, I thought I'd pull up some statistics because it's changed quite a bit from last time I did one of these videos. It's a pretty spicy start for a 5 minus. Starting like this. So the first thing I can pull up is the countries where people are watching these videos from. So it's still first place United States, and I think that's a lot because of Juji Mufu and Tom, who are no longer doing videos together, but I think it's mostly because of them that I have a lot of following from the US. And then United Kingdom, Germany, Norway. Norway has increased too, and I think that's because of the TV show that I attended like half a year ago. Canada, Australia, Netherlands, Sweden, France, Spain, Poland, Italy, Switzerland, Finland, India, Denmark, Austria, Belgium, Israel, Czech Republic, Singapore, and Russia. So it's really spread out actually, but like mostly English-speaking countries, I guess.
Who are you counting on? Who are you leaning on? When the cold winds blow strong, who are you counting?
Running start, grade 5. It's kind of crazy.
Winter town, winter Wintertime, blood in the snow.
So this is where the boulder really starts.
Wintertime, release the need to know.
And then for the gender, that has also changed quite a bit. So now it's 9.2% female, 90.9% male, which means that the female viewers have increased. And I think that's a lot because of Marte. I get a lot of feedback from people saying that they will only watch the videos if she's in them. So that kind of makes sense. And for the age, I feel like it's pretty much the same as last time. Not many 13 to 17-year-olds. And then for the subscribed versus non-subscribed, it's 60% of you watching are not subscribed, which I think is a pretty high number, but that's as expected. I think most channels have a similar number. And this is the last year. So, I mean, whenever videos go like viral, you get a lot of traffic from non-subscribers. I think as soon as they see that your channel is mostly about climbing and they're not into climbing, they're not gonna subscribe. So that makes sense, I guess.
Leaving all my worries out.
Climbing down to save my back. That's a sign that I'm getting older.
Me back, I'm sure it wasn't true. Holding on too long and unresolved questions hold you down. What could have been?
So I feel like I already explained this, but I'm gonna go through all of the boulders on one grade before moving up to the next grade. So the grade is always up in the right corner.
On and on, I'm moving on and on, on and on. I'm driving in my car, the road is long and full of dust. The landscape changes around me, on and on, I feel I must. Whatever happened to me happened for my highest good. I read that in so many books, now it's almost understood. I'm moving on and on.
Alright, so now it starts to get interesting grade-wise. 6A plus. And I don't know if you see it, but that's actually the wrong start position. You're supposed to start with your left hand a little bit lower on that other hold.
As well, my destination.
Blue 6A plus.
To begin, then look no further than within.
It starts here.
I'm
But in total there were 119 boulders, so that's a lot more than last time I did this. I think last time it was 100 boulders, so 20% more. That's quite a lot. My back is starting to get sore from jumping down. And it took me in total 8 hours. I had 2 cameras that I moved around, and I also put up lights because it's a little bit dark in some spots. I didn't feel like asking someone to hold a camera for like 8 hours straight. Marte has like school and work and everything right now, so I can't really ask her to hold the camera for that long. But it's definitely like I enjoy climbing alone like this. Growing up in Bergen, I climbed alone. I would say most of the time, training alone because no one else really trained that hard where I grew up. So it kind of reminds me of that time. I don't even listen to music when I climb on my own. I enjoy the silence. I feel like right now at least life is pretty hectic, and it's nice to just climb without music or anything. You know, most of the day I spend editing. I think a lot of people still don't know this, but I do still edit, like I would say 80% of my videos probably, and Marcus edits the rest. I skipped a few holes there. I think it makes a difference though. So we start. That's hard for 6A plus. So the boulders are still pretty boring, but I promise you they're gonna get a lot more exciting. It's nice to be upstairs because generally the grades are lower up here. I don't know if you guys noticed, but the AP Plus, they've taken it downstairs. But there's an 8-day that's pretty hard. Very different style from the AP Plus though. I mean, obviously 8-day is a lot easier also than an AP Plus, but it's like really crimpy. I've not done it, so it's gonna, I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna do it now when I try like 100 boulders, but I'm definitely gonna try. There's a black 7C that I haven't done, and there's also a green 7C that is really hard. I think generally right now in the gym the 7Cs are harder than the 7C pluses. At least it feels like that for me right now. Alright, so now we're moving up to 6B. I think it should start to get pretty interesting. Last time I did this, I fell on a 6B plus on a slab. If I fall on something, I'm not gonna cut it out. Every attempt that I did is in this video. And I'm gonna start commenting on the climbing pretty soon, but while I'm still doing easy problems, I'm just gonna talk about like random stuff, I think. I don't know, if you guys follow me on Instagram, you've seen that I'm opening 2 gyms actually, one in Bergen, the city that I'm originally from, and another one in Oslo. I'm not opening them by myself, I am opening them with Friction Walls, the company that made the walls in this gym. They also made the walls in the gym in Bergen, the big one that I went to with Pete. And there are also other investors involved, so it's nice to work in a team, and I feel like we all have like different skills. We're also gonna open one on, it's the completely like the other side of the city. So this gym right here is on the east side, and we're gonna open another one on the west side. I definitely think there's market for it. Climbing is growing, it's been growing for like 15 years. I think it's gonna continue to grow. Even if it wasn't for the Olympics, I think it would still grow. I think some people overestimate the power of the Olympics, because I know a lot of Olympic athletes from other sports who get almost no recognition, no sponsors. Even though a sport is Olympic, it doesn't necessarily mean that there's going to be a lot of money in the sport. It's gonna be easier for some professional climbers, like it's easier to get money from government and stuff, but I think climbing would grow even if it wasn't for the Olympics. It doesn't hurt with the Olympics, but I think it would continue to grow regardless. You know, like gym climbing has become like a sport of its own, and I don't know, it's growing really rapidly, especially indoor climbing. I mean, I don't do that much outdoor climbing nowadays, but I don't think that the outdoor crags are like really crowded. I think there's just a new group of climbers who prefer to climb indoors, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If people want to climb indoors, they should climb indoors. When I grew up, people would make fun of you if you climbed indoors, if the weather was good enough to climb outdoors, and also when I grew up, you were not supposed to train. You're just supposed to climb. So things have definitely changed. I feel like now it's like cool to train, but it was definitely not like that before. So I've also gotten questions about like how much I actually own of this gym, and this gym I own about 7.5%. So it's not that much, but it's a very big gym, and I feel like it's better to own a small percentage of something big than to own a big percentage of something small. That sounded really cheesy, but I feel like it's true. This one is kind of fun. It's actually the only way to do this bowler. I try not to over grip the holes now. I want to save as much power as possible, so. green 6B plus. It's pretty hard 6B plus. It's a little embarrassing falling on 6B plus, but in this video I'm not going to cut anything away. So if I fail on a boulder, no matter how easy it is, I'm still going to show it. Fallen 2 times on the 6B plus. Oh my goodness. Oh. That's how you're supposed to do it. Definitely very tricky 6B plus, but I don't know if you saw that heel toe cam. It's hard to find the beta right away on like a technical slab like this. But I think it's cool because those bowlers, I mean, they're so easy if you know what to do. And I feel like that's the difference between like good and bad root setting. If the root setting is good, it's often hard to find the solution. This one is actually really hard for the grade. I don't know, if you've been to this gym and you've tried this 6B plus and it's your max, I'm very sorry for you. And even this is hard. And I can also mention that the chalk bags will be available pretty soon. I've said this many times before, but now we've ordered them and they should be available in just a couple of weeks from now. We've upgraded them a little bit. We're gonna produce them in Europe now, not in China anymore. So I think that's definitely a good thing. I think also the quality is gonna be higher than the old ones. So they should, I mean, I'm gonna probably put out something on Instagram or something when they're out. We also have some plans. We're gonna open a lot of smaller bouldering gyms, and that's actually really exciting. It's gonna be called Rogne Boulders, and it's completely unmanned. Everything will be controlled with LED lights. So you can, if you have the app, you can go into any gym. I mean, they're smaller gyms, so they're about 200 or even just 100 square meters. So it will kind of be like the kilter system, just not the easiest 6B plus, I gotta say. Just a lot bigger and more walls, and we're gonna set with bigger holes. The LED lamps will be 3 times more powerful, and that's to be able to light up bigger holes, because it's really hard to find a good building for a climbing gym. Like this building took us a long time to find. But with this system, we can even find buildings in like downtown, like in really central areas. And another good thing is that we can also open up gyms in small towns where there's not really any route setters or anyone to run the gym. This is like a powerful plum, and it's pretty hard. I tried warming up on it once and I fell. So ugly for the knee. The slab 6B pluses are always so hard. I feel like it's easier to set a good, easy problem on a slab than in an overhang, because you can get more creative, you can make like actual moves, you don't have to put up jugs. So I definitely think on the lower grades, the slabs are more interesting. Alright, now we're moving up to 6C. This one has tiny holes. Woo. it's not too bad for the grade actually. I should definitely try to save as much power as possible for the harder boulders, because I remember last time too, like doing all that in a session is so much more than you think, especially when you have to film everything with 2 cameras. So I need to like move around the cameras and stuff and the lights and everything. C. That's a pretty cool first move. So this is like too bad to start off of, so you have to do this. And then you can start. It's pretty nice. Ooh. That was not too easy for 6C. Like, I don't even know what order you guys will see this in, but I'm starting to be pretty worked and it's getting late. Hopefully you're enjoying the voiceover, because these easy problems are probably not very interesting to watch, but I don't know.
I'm aware of the bonds that were created today. When you told me that sure there's a way. The water's so still and my pain has gone away. The air is much cleaner after the rain.
Getting sloppy.
Follow my love, a sentence in spring air. Follow the moon into the sun. There's a call for new beginnings here. Let the sorrow of yester disappear. Let your body be new. I'm a wanderer of the soul. Before the end, I plan to behold.
And another reason why I made this video is also because I don't want to feel guilty if there are some like non-climbing videos coming up. I mean, I don't want this channel to only be about climbing. It started off as a vlog channel, I mentioned this before, but I want to be able to make videos about anything. I mean, I talked about this before, but I feel like I should just mention it again. I want to be able to make videos about anything that I find interesting, and also I feel like that's also more challenging as a I don't like the word content creator, but that's what I am, I guess. And I don't know, it's just a nice challenge to be able to make videos about other things, because it does get a little bit boring to only make climbing videos, I think. And I think it's more valuable if I'm able to make interesting videos about just anything. I think that's more valuable. It means that I'm better at making videos. I feel like if I can make videos about a lot of things. And of course, it's not like every video is going to be interesting for anyone. I think as long as I'm not too misleading in the thumbnail, it's okay. But at the same time, I have to be kind of, you know, sometimes I cross the line. I feel like I'm clickbaiting too hard. It's a fine line. You have to clickbait a little bit for people to watch your videos. the whole YouTube space is really competitive, and if you don't try to make a video like clickable with the thumbnail and the title, your video is just gonna drown. It's not gonna get any attention. So I don't know if this is interesting at all to any of you, but when you make a thumbnail, there's a lot of things that you should think about. The first thing is that you should always, because you read a thumbnail like you read a sentence. You start from the left and you go to the right, and people decide what video to watch on YouTube within half a second. So if you have a confusing title or a confusing thumbnail, people are not going to watch it. It has to be very clear what you're about to watch. And also you should oversaturate and overexpose the thumbnail a little bit, because it has to be shiny, you know. It should look a little bit brighter than other thumbnails. Of course there are exceptions to this, but usually a brighter and more colorful, like saturated thumbnail will get more views. But it's hard to come up with new video ideas all the time, you know. It's like coming up with a thumbnail and title is usually the hardest part. I try to find a balance. I try to find a balance between making what I want to make and also what I know will get enough views. And I also try to balance the clickbait in the thumbnails, you know.
Ooh, that one is sneaky.
It has to look interesting and clickable, but yeah. It's a hard balance for sure, and sometimes I feel like I cross that line, sometimes I feel like I'm too clickbaity, but I mean that's how YouTube is nowadays, so.
Those small holes are starting to hurt.
Really slippery footholds.
Oh, my fingers hurt. That move going up to the left. Ah, it's really painful. I think I need to go downstairs and try slab of the week before it's too late. If I'm too tired, I'm not gonna do slab of the week. I've looked at the list and not many people have done it this week, so I guess it's pretty hard. But it's more technical anyway, so even though I feel pretty worked, I don't think that's gonna be a problem really.
Love's a game
You have to jump out, land the right foot and the right hand and left hand at the same time. Slabs, especially technical, like jumpy slabs like this, they're very different from like normal climbing. Some people criticize it too, you know. A lot of people are against this type of climbing, like especially old school climbers don't like this type of climbing. They call it like parkour. I don't really know what I think about it. I kind of like it. It's humbling for sure, because no matter how strong you are, not saying that I'm super strong or anything, but no matter how strong you are, anyone can struggle on a slab, you know. It's just so different. It's all about technique. You also see a lot of this type of bouldering in competitions, and a lot of people don't like that. They think it should be more about power, strength. And to be honest, I don't have any like strong opinion about that. I do think that it's kind of fun to watch climbers try technical stuff, but I do agree that sometimes it's a little bit too much. If like all the problems have like jumps and stuff, I feel like there should be at least 1 or 2 problems that are like really powerful. That should also be something that you have to master to do well in competitions. When I did this now, it's not like I changed a whole lot, you know. I was just a little bit more confident, I think. Alright, so now it's getting interesting.
The one I'm going to try now is 7A. I'm really starting to get worked. Like my skin and everything feels... It doesn't look so bad, but it just feels like... It's kind of like... I don't know, it feels like the skin is not attached to the flesh anymore. It's kind of a gross feeling. Of course it is. It's just how it feels right now. This one has like really small holes, it looks like. I think they're gonna be pretty painful right now.
A little bit more than halfway through this video, I started having doubts whether or not I actually wanted to go through with it. I'm almost like considering just doing half of the problems, or like the hardest problems, because there's so many problems in the gym right now. It's I don't even know if I'll be able to do everything before the gym opens again. Because right now it's like 2 a.m.
I'm sure it wasn't true. Holding on too long on unresolved questions holds you.
I'm not going to reveal
What could have been?
how many boulders I've tried, but I have a lot of boulders left and I'm already really worked.
On and on, I'm moving on and on and on. I'm driving in my car, the road is long and full of dust. The landscape changes around me, on and on, I feel immersed. Whatever happened to me, happened for my highest good. I read that in so many books, now it's almost understood. I'm moving on and on.
I was pretty desperate.
This red one is, I think it's one of the easier 7As in the gym. It's like a hard top match, I guess. That's maybe the crux. I don't really know.
I'm feeling low. Want you to know I ain't got much to show.
That one wasn't too bad for the grade. Really nice holds, so I love those holds, but they take a lot of skin.
Until the spring liberates me from my winter hell. I've got candles and candy. I can be your daddy if you only let me creep into your prison cell. Hey baby, can you tell I'm not a criminal? Your choice is seminal. I want you to stay true to what's right for you. No matter who or know what will others say. Just find your way and try to stay.
pretty good actually. That one. Doing all the boulders is like so much harder than, at least I think. I said it last time too, but I always underestimate how hard it's gonna be. And especially the hard problems, I mean, because you lose that like oomph, you know? So you don't have that anymore, so it's gonna be hard to complete all the boulders this time.
And that's not a place where you would like to go. I've got
The grade is always up in the right corner. I made it a little bit smaller than usual just so that it doesn't cover too much of the screen. I mean, this is pretty hard, especially when your skin and everything hurts. I was actually surprised by how good my skin felt. And I was also surprised by, like, the feet starts hurting eventually. I had the same feeling. I don't know if you guys have tried multi-pitch climbing, but yeah, I had the same feeling as in my feet as when I do multi-pitch climbing, because you keep your shoes on for so long. And I think actually for this it would have been good to wear like beginner shoes, you know, like really flat, stiff, hard shoes. But I'm not used to climbing with stiff shoes, so I much prefer my Furia S. I mean, these are really soft. It's strange how you just get so used to something. I feel so uncomfortable whenever I climb in stiff shoes. But people like Pete, he's the opposite, you know. He's so used to climbing in stiff shoes. We discussed this. He does not like soft shoes, and it's so strange to me because I'm the complete opposite. Climbing with stiff shoes, I feel like I have no control of whether or not my foot is gonna slip. So I feel like I'm pulling way harder than I have to with my hands and fingers because I don't trust my feet. So even on like really technical routes or boulders with tiny footholds, I still prefer my soft shoes just because I'm able to, I feel so much more secure, you know. I know, I can feel if my feet are about to slip or not. So it's only a matter of what you're used to.
Oh, actually my skin feels surprisingly good. It's just, actually everything else hurts right now, but the skin feels okay. And I also hope that I didn't miss any problems because it's hard to keep track, so, yeah. So this is probably the one I've been looking forward to the least. It's like a dyno up to a crack, but I have to do it in order to do all the problems, so I have to do this one as well, no matter how long it takes me. Or not no matter how long, I'm gonna give up at some point.
This one is definitely the one that I was not looking forward to, and especially when you're worked.
Oh, come on. Oh, I'm just not getting my hand in that. But also, if I get my hand in, I have to want it. I have to like really want it. Okay. Need to get my thumb in. And this is only 7A. But I knew that a crack 7A would be really hard though, so that's not really surprising.
It just feels really painful, even though those volumes are pretty soft compared to most hand gems.
Oh, almost had it. That's the problem with cracks. If you almost have it.
But this hand gem is actually pretty comfortable. The wide body's volumes are softer than normal hand gems. And I didn't really know if I was allowed to use the top of the volume. You know, the top of the wide body's volumes have like a slippery part to them. But I think in this case, for me at least, it would definitely be better to grab the top of the volume than to hand gem it. But I didn't do that because I wanted to do it the proper way.
I'm driving in my car, the road is long and full of dust.
Pretty happy about that actually.
On and on, I feel immersed. Whatever happened to me happened for my highest good. I read that in so many books, now it's almost understood. I'm moving on.
Oh my goodness.
On and on.
That was only 7A. This hold though was covered by another hold. So I grabbed the wrong part. I grabbed like the dual texture part first and I almost fell.
Sweet is my location, sweet as well my destination.
It's just about, it's almost 2 o'clock.
and I'm about halfway. I just had like a little protein bar, and now I feel even more tired. But I'm gonna continue. And last time I did this, I did 100 problems. This time I'm gonna do 121, I think. I think you should always step it up, you know? I don't want to do the same thing again. I always kind of want to do it better than last time, so this is kind of my way of doing it better. It's probably going to be like 8 hours in the gym. I don't know, if I just did this without filming, it wouldn't take that long, I don't think. But I would probably not complete the boulders, because I always perform so much better when you guys are watching, when I know that someone's watching at least. And I mean, even though, like in the beginning I felt like I was just talking to the camera, but now I actually feel like I talk to real people, because I recognize a lot of the same names in the comments, and I don't know, I feel like I know the people that I'm talking to, so it doesn't feel like I'm talking to a camera anymore. It feels like I'm talking to people I know. I mean, you always want to impress people you know even more too, so when I try these boulders, I do feel a little bit of pressure. I definitely want to perform. I don't know, I don't really know if I'm getting weaker and weaker, even though I'm getting a little bit older. I feel like I'm the same shape as when I retired, more or less. Maybe a little bit weaker, but not that much weaker, even though I train a lot less. So that's good to know. I mean, if you just invest a lot of time into training and stuff, it's never gonna go away, really. It's always gonna be there.
Summertime, summertime, love's in its prime.
Alright, so we're moving up to 7A plus. There's so many interesting problems in this gym, and it's just gonna get more interesting from now on, because now we're moving up to the harder grades.
Turn love into shame, and love's a game, love's a game.
Everything starts to hurt now. Skin, my feet, just the fingers in general. How's that the way? This green one was just super awkward. I didn't really know how to start it. You had to grab that right hand. And that move coming in, I don't know if that's how you're supposed to do it, but that was definitely pretty hard. I really get flashbacks to last time I did this. It's like I think that, oh, I'm just gonna do them really quickly and it's not gonna take too long, but it always ends up taking so much more time than I think. Oh, I feel completely worked and my back is pretty sore too from jumping down. It's probably good for me. Here's another one that when you walk up to it, you kind of don't really understand how to do it. You just have to get on it and kind of feel your way through it. You have to feel the positions. It's really hard to make a plan from the ground. And sometimes, I mean, you don't always have to make a plan. On some problems, you just have to feel your way up it. I almost messed that up. And I definitely think that we have some of the best route setters at this gym. A lot of these problems are really creative. And I think out of all the gyms that I have been to, this gym has like my favorite setting. I mean, I'm kind of biased when it comes to the setting in this gym, but I definitely feel like the setting is really creative, and not only on the hard problems, but also on the easy problems. And the route setters at this gym are some of the best in Norway, not only at setting, but also at climbing. So we have some really strong route setters, actually. And last time I did this, I thought there would be no interest for a long video like this, but I was proven wrong. And I think it was also because I mentioned like halfway in the video that like I'm impressed if you guys are still watching, and it's the same with this video. I'm really impressed if you made it so far through all the easy problems, just listening to me ranting about like random stuff. I'm doing this voiceover a couple of days after, and I'm still really, really sore. Alright, moving up to 7B. This salmon pink color one was really hard. That move going up left hand, coming in, and even the top match on this is really, really hard. I had done this before, but with all the climbing I did that night, there was no guarantee that I would do it again. This black one you've seen, it has a really interesting top move. You have to ride that last volume. It's not the only way to do it. I've seen people do it in different ways, but I think it's the easiest way to do it. And I think it'd be easier to do it naked actually, because there's more friction in the skin than in like fabrics.
Not very graceful, but whatever.
And this yellow one, that's the sort of problem that really hurts if you climb for a long time, you know, when your skin is starting to hurt.
I'm so glad I don't have to do that one again. It's really sharp bolt. I've done this one before. I think it's actually the easiest 7B plus in this gym currently. So if you climb at this gym and you want to get an easy 7B plus, this is definitely the one to do. But nothing really feels easy right now though. Felt pretty hard actually.
So there are two 7Cs, and I actually think the 7Cs are harder than the 7C pluses in this gym.
This is definitely going to be one of the harder ones. It's only 7C, so it's not even the hardest, but it's definitely one of the harder 7Cs right now. So
it has like a jump start to a toe hook, and it has a lot of compression moves in the beginning and a really hard last move.
That was barely. As I've tried the upper part before, and this is too bad. I can't use this, so I have to skip it and go all the way to the top hold. And the top hold is so blind because of that second to last hold. So this is actually one of those that I'm the most nervous about. It's actually only a 7C. There's also a 7C plus, the blue one here. I'm gonna try that one later. And then the 8A is in the really steep part, really small crimps. That's gonna be the last boulder I do. I've never done that boulder before, but now I'm gonna try this 7C plus, the blue one. That's like one of the coolest boulders in the gym, I think, right now. It has like a really nice dyno where you go out left, you have to catch a hold, but you can't take the swing, and then you have to go to the next one.
This is probably one of my favorite boulders in the gym. The nice thing is that you actually have to do it this way. You have to jump out, grab the first two screw-ons, and then as you swing out, in the same swing, you have to grab the next hold. And I tried this a bunch of different ways. and I was not able to do it any other way than this way. Setting a bowler so that you force this move is really, really hard. So I think it's really good root setting.
It's such a long one too. But I've done this one in a previous video, but it's gonna be a lot harder, obviously, to do it now. I hope you guys are still watching.
This is probably not one of my favorite bowlers. I don't really like it that much. When you have to hold the dual texture, like the light bulbs or whatever they are, I don't really like that. So this is definitely not my favorite bowler. But it's a very physical bowler, you know, it's not very technical. It's just if you're strong enough to do this bowler, you're gonna do it.
No.
There's not much technique to it.
If I fall too many times on this, I will have no chance. I really feel painful with that like 2-finger pocket right now, because my fingers feel so sore. It's actually one of the problems that I thought I would do. It's not like, because I've done it before, it's not super hard. It's one of 2 7C pluses, and then there's the 8A.
Who are you leaning on when the cold winds blow strong? Who are you counting on? Winter town, blood in the snow. Winter town, release the need and woe. Christmas Eve, Adam Eve. New Year's Eve.
Yes! Oh, that felt so good. I think if I just spent like a couple more tries on that, it would be finished. I would have no chance.
Alright, so now the hardest problem. This is an 8A on really, really tiny holes. This is just the type of thing that when you try it the first time, this is not technical at all, but it feels like, I don't know, it's strange how your fingers just have to kind of adapt to it. I mean, I had tried this previously and it felt really hard. This is kind of my anti-style, like small crimps like this, but it's very straightforward, and I feel like this is something that you're just either strong enough to do or you're not. But at the same time, when I first tried this, I had problems just with even just the separate moves. I had not linked it before this session, so this is actually the first time I do this problem. And that's also the end of the video. If you made it this far, I'm really impressed, and if you have skipped certain parts, I don't blame you. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Also check out the book if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one.